Hey friends, today I want to talk about Zoom calls and public speaking. And actually, I don't have any notes for this. I'm actually just doing this on the fly after coming off some phone calls this week with clients who are calling because they have public speaking anxiety, even panic attacks when it comes to Zoom calls. And they all have the same question. Is Zoom calls the same as public speaking? And the answer is yes. No matter if you're speaking in person, in a boardroom, or in front of 100 people in an audience, or on a Zoom call, whether it's 3 people or 100 people or 1,000 people, Zoom calls are no different than speaking in person. Well, I mean, obviously you're not there physically there, but it is no different as far as why we have the anxiety and the phobia of public speaking when it comes to Zoom calls. And it all comes down to being center of attention and being focused on, and the judgment of being, the judgment of being judged, right? The fear of being judged, I should say, of when you're on a Zoom call and how you're performing and what are people thinking. And we get in our inner minds, our inner critic is what basically sets off the fight or flight response when it comes to fear of being criticized when we are speaking. And that's what public speaking phobia is. It's the fear of being judged. So what happens is when we have the phobia of public speaking, what's really happening in the background, just to explain it scientifically, is we have something called the amygdala part of the brain. And the amygdala is in charge of the fight or flight response. And it's what produces all that adrenaline and oxygen to be able to escape from a physical danger or threat, like a bear or a rattlesnake or maybe a fire in your home or an intruder, or be able to stand your ground and fight off that physical danger or threat. Now, the key word here is physical danger or threat. And the amygdala is there to only keep us safe from a physical danger or threat, which produces all that adrenaline, oxygen to be able to outburst and outrun or outfight that physical danger or threat. Now, we know that public speaking is not a physical danger or threat, but public speaking is a phobia. Now, a phobia is an irrational fear of something. So what has happened is, by a false mistake, it's just a false alarm, the amygdala has taken that phobia, which is basically just a perfect illusion of something that's not there, a danger that's not there, and put it into the database of the amygdala. So our amygdala now has public speaking as a physical danger or threat. Hey, Bob here. If this video is hitting home, don't just stop here. Go take my free public speaking fear quiz to get your personal fear score and instantly watch my 15-minute workshop. You'll learn why traditional tips and tricks fail and how I've helped over 700 coaching clients and well over 1,500 online course professionals speak fearlessly in just 21 days with a 99.2 success rate. There's no fluff, no sales pitch, just the fix. So just click the link below in the description to get started. Thank you so much. So what we need to do is get over that phobia, right? And how do we do that? Well, that's something that I do in my course. I teach you how to actually remove the phobia of public speaking from the amygdala so that the amygdala no longer sees it as a physical danger threat. And it actually is really simple to do. Now, a lot of times we do things wrong. We try to calm ourselves down. So when we start feeling all that anxiety build up, we try to calm ourselves down. But what happens is when we try to calm ourselves down, our amygdala is looking at the situation. It's always scanning and saying, hey, why is Bob getting so nervous? Why is he trying to calm himself down? And then it says, oh, he's public speaking. Yeah, that's in my database. That's like a polar bear or a grizzly bear or a rattlesnake or a fire. And it's going to pump me up with a lot of adrenaline and a lot of cortisol and oxygen to be able to outrun that threat. And it takes milliseconds. But then just milliseconds later, it scans again. It says, oh my God, Bob's not running. He's still sitting there, right? Because obviously when we're public speaking, we're sitting on a Zoom call or in a boardroom or in front of people, and we're not going to run away. So all of a sudden, it's immediately within milliseconds sends a second dose. And that's why a lot of us feel that whoosh feeling or that gunk feeling. And that's the way most people explain it. And that's the way I can explain it when I used to have the phobia of public speaking, was you just have this whoosh feeling. And that's the adrenaline, the double hit of all that adrenaline come over your body to first run, and then milliseconds later, be able to fight off the danger that's not even there. So that's why we get the quivering voice, the pounding heart, the sweating, and the shaking hands, and high anxiety, obviously, because our amygdala is going off like, get out of there, run away, and it thinks that this is a physical danger or threat. So Zoom calls are basically triggering the amygdala to go off and create the same exact symptoms that we would feel in a boardroom or standing on a stage or standing in front of a room of 100 people or 1,000 people or even just 10 people at a boardroom. So that is why Zoom calls are really no different than being in front of people in a boardroom or in a room or on a stage when it comes to public speaking. So what we need to do is reverse those feelings, and we need to remove the phobia of public speaking. And basically, there's a link below where basically you can take the quiz. And if you've already taken my quiz and watched the workshop, and I go over how do we actually overcome the phobia of public speaking? How do we actually remove this phobia from our amygdala so our amygdala no longer sees it as a physical danger or threat? And that's all we need to do. A phobia is just basically an illusion of something that's dangerous that's not really there. That's why we call it a phobia. It's an irrational fear of something. But what our amygdala has done is it's taken it and it's put it into its database as if it's a physical danger threat, like a grizzly bear, fire, rattlesnake, anything like that. So basically, I hope this video helps you out and understand why Zoom calls are actually a lot like public speaking in person. So again, there's a link below. Take a look at it. Take the quiz. If you've already taken the quiz, watch the workshop or take the quiz and then land on the workshop. So basically, you can understand how I help you get over the phobia of public speaking, whether it's a Zoom call, a boardroom, in front of 100 people, or even on big stages. I help everybody from the entire scale, from Zoom calls all the way up to big stages, no matter if it's moderate, high, or severe, even panic attacks. I can help you out. So again, thanks a lot. I just want to put together this video really quick. I don't have any notes, so basically I'm just going down a rabbit hole right now. But this is something I want to talk about because a lot of people have been coming to me for Zoom calls, and I wanted to explain this better and clarify why it's happening. Thank you.